phenomenal tonight. Hope you guys have had a great start to the week. Hope you guys are ready for some fantasy football drafts tonight. Hopping into some Underdog fantasy football drafts. Sorry, I just started a second stream. I accidentally closed out the first stream. But you guys know what it is. Couple different contests tonight through Underdog that we can hop into. So let me know in the chat if there's any preference. I'm good with a couple puppies. We got limited time to get into Flock Community's 6 overall contest. Those are $10 entries. Pretty decent payout structure here for this draft as well. And I think Best Ball Mania, the last time I checked, was at like a fill rate of 76%. So we do have a little bit of time left for Best Ball Mania, but there's going to be a point where I think really the only format that I want to really hop into is going to be Best Ball Mania. So I'm okay hopping into Best Ball Mania tonight as well. So we'll see. So I'll give it a couple minutes here. It's 11:44 p.m. Eastern time. And we'll just kind of go from there, see if you guys have any preference. If not, I will just hop into a draft. And if you guys want to join me, you can join me. Okay. I do have an exciting announcement, though. So for any of you new to Underdog Fantasy, with promo code The Catch, you can now get a 50% deposit match up to $1,000. No longer up to $250, but up to $1,000. So you can deposit up to $2,000. Anything over $2,000 or more will still only get you a $1,000 deposit match. They're capping it at $1,000, but still super, super good deposit match. And on top of that, you'll get a new customer free pick. So you're still getting that mystery pick'em, so to speak, on Underdog as well. So for anyone new to Underdog, promo code The Catch, link is in the chat. Or not in the chat. Well, actually, you know what? I can throw it in the chat. But it is live on our description on YouTube as well, per usual. So, all right. I think we will start the draft with the puppy. 20 seconds per pick. $5 entry. Good little warm up here. So let's enter at 11:47 p.m. Eastern time. And let's draft a beautiful fantasy football squad for the upcoming season. So we've had 2 community drafts in the past, 48 hours. So we got a really good look at what some real squads for the 2024 fantasy season will look like in a redraft format. And while the mock drafts still were plenty good in terms of preparation and everything, a lot of the mock drafts that you're seeing out there, a lot of ADP, it's still very close overall, but your real draft is still going to vary from any mock draft that you do. I think that was proven in our last 2 drafts. So I can go over any of those teams tonight as well. All right, entering the lobby in 3, 2, 1. Get in the dang draft. 10 spots, 9 spots. Get in the lobby. Let's fill this draft. Anyone new to Underdog Fantasy, if you do want to join, promo code The Catch in the description down below. And I'll go ahead and pin it in the chat as well. Like I said, 50% deposit match up to $1,000 just went live today on Underdog. I think that's really incredible for anyone who's new to Underdog Fantasy. All right. See if anyone got in with me. Doesn't look like it. But don't worry, we'll run another draft after this one. All right, I'm at the 1.2. My tried and true. See who's on the board here. All right, let me get in the live chat here on YouTube. I'll hop over to TikTok in just a second here. Cinnabon, still thinking about my proposal. I hate your proposal. Yeah, I'm not a fan. Sorry, I'm really bad at responding to trades. I don't see any value in that trade for me whatsoever. I guess I need a tight end in that league? And oh, you're bringing in Njoku back to the table. I remember this now. Give me Tyreek here. Lamb, perfectly fine there too. Good to see you, Cinnabon. Cats, sorry if you didn't hear me. Oh, you said I didn't get in somehow. Are you in a different lobby? I bet you these are just filling super quick. Tommy, good to see you, bro. I made the thumbnail in your honor. You think Nino's asking, you think having Mahomes, Kelsey, and Rice on the same team is too much, or keep the stack? I mean, it's fine. Like, if there's one aggressive stack you're going to do, I think a Kansas City Chiefs stack is fine. Like, I mean, I think this offense is going to be lights out this year. You know, the Mahomes Kelsey stack is always perfectly fine. Like, what at worst you had a QB8 and the tight end 2 last year. I don't think there's as much upside in a Mahomes Kelsey stack as there has been in previous years, because we're going to have so many more pass catchers. Obviously, you know, with Rashee Rice now looking like he's going to get suspended, like I've been saying for months, will probably happen. And even if it doesn't, when Hollywood Brown is back and healthy, and we've already seen in the preseason what Xavier Worthy is going to bring to this offense. Big catch from Mahomes and Saturday's preseason game, and then a touchdown from Carson Wentz. Like, so I think there is a little bit of a limited amount of upside, maybe potentially for Kelsey this year. And there's so many other, you know, tight ends coming to the table now. Kincaid, McBride. They got Laporta, of course. You still got Mark Andrews. You still got Kittle. You still got Evan Ingram. You know, there's a lot of big names at the position. You got Kyle Pitts with an actual quarterback. So, like, I won't be surprised if Kelsey moves back a little bit this year. But, yeah, I mean, if you're drafting Kelsey specifically, he just goes at pick 17 in this draft to stack with Mahomes, like, there's still value in that stack. And, yes, if you have a Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver on top of that, I'm not worried about it. You know, I wanted to trade away Rice, but my wide receivers are my weakest point. I mean, Rice is going to be super consistent this year. You know, when he is playing, he's going to be super consistent. There's just nothing to worry about there. Let's see if I get a double Dolphins start here with Waddle as well. You know, I don't really usually do this, but I'll go Waddle here too. Have to draft Tua. So, who do the Dolphins play? Week 17. The Browns. That doesn't help me here. Just give me Devonta Smith. Okay, I'm okay with Mike Evans. Plenty of names here I'm okay with. I'll just go Devonta. But yeah, maybe try and target Amari Cooper. I mean, I don't think I'm going to be able to get Coop 47. I just don't see that happening. But if he's there, it'd be beneficial. Albert, good to see you. What's up? Viking Pete, where's the other guy? He's the best, funny, and good looking. I don't know, Pete. Where is he? Is that your? This is your burner account? What's up, dude? Dang cats. I guess these are just filling super quickly. That's why you got another lobby. Cinnabon. Here, I will decline your trade. Wait. It says I rejected it. All right, Jack asking on TikTok, rate 10 men, 10 men, 10 man team. Caleb, JT, Rashad, Garrett Wilson, London, Kincaid, Neighbors, Jaden Reed. I mean, for a 10 man, I'm looking for a bit more upside here because the week to week competition's so much more steep. Like, I feel like, I mean, I'm not out on Caleb Williams necessarily, but in a 10-team format, I want a better quarterback than Caleb Williams right now. When you think about it, you got Mahomes, Hurts, Allen, Lamar, Rich, Stroud, Murray, Burrow, Love, Prescott are the first 10 off the board. I mean, right now in ADP, the next tier is Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams, Brock Purdy, Trevor, Tua, so I guess I can't knock you too much. I mean, I think Caleb Williams is going to be fine. But you look at rookie season, top rookie season quarterback finishes, is not like super high amount of upside involved there. But it's not going to like ruin your team. JT Rashad White, I think, is fine. I love Garrett Wilson this year. I'm in on Drake London as well. Let me make these picks real quick. Let's just start. Let's do an aggressive wide receiver start. Let's go Pickens. I'm taking a little bit more of Pickens lately just for the perceived upside, whatever that may be. I'm going to try and get Xavier Worthy with this next pick. I mean, the fact that Xavier Worthy is a 5th-round pick now is, and there he goes. Yeah, it's just, I feel like if you want Worthy, which I've been drafting a lot of Worthy lately, so I'm not like super upset. You got to take him. He's just a name that you got to take. I'll go Scary Terry here. And we'll keep rolling. Go aggressive at wide receiver to start. Rice goes at 4 points. So this guy goes Kelsey at 17, Mahomes, and Rice. So it's already to the Chiefs wide receivers gone. So you got Kincaid at tight end, Jack. Neighbors is fine. Is it a double flex or a single flex? Because you're listing Neighbors and Reed, so I'm assuming you have some bench players here. I mean, this team is fine. I'm not really in on Neighbors personally because I think he's capped by his quarterback play. But the targets are going to be there for sure. Reed is fine there. I mean, it seems good for sure. But in a 10-team league, you're really looking for like those 1 or 2 players who are going to really set you over on a weekly basis. You know what I mean? But I think, Wilson, London, JT, Rashad White, Kincaid, you're in a very, very good spot. 2 good flex options. Quarterback will be fine. Vega, do we believe in CMC first overall? Yeah, for sure. I mean, the first round right now, whether you had the 1.1, the 1.2, 1.3, if you want to go wide receiver, running back is going to be the first decision you have to make. And I'm okay with Christian McCaffrey, Breece Hall, Bijan Robinson, CeeDee Lamb, Tyreek Hill, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Those are the guys that in the first 6 picks, you take them in any position, whether it's the 1.1 all the way up to the 1.6. I don't have any issue with it. Right outside that tier, of course, is JJ, Jamar Chase. And A.J. Brown, for me, is still really, really high up there. I'm not really I think A.J. Brown belongs in the end of that tier still. I don't think he's really broken into the next tier where you see like Garrett Wilson, Puka, Gibbs, et cetera, et cetera. And I like all those guys too. So, but yeah, I think Christian McCaffrey, I still think is the easiest pick. I'm not I really think the only thing that's changed with C-Mac is the calf injury. I think if it wasn't for the calf injury, that this wouldn't even be a question, right? So, yeah, I'm not in any way worried about it. And I still think when you break down what Christian McCaffrey did last year, just absolutely ridiculous. And I mean, what he averaged, like, was it over 25 fantasy points per game? I mean, like, I have no worry whatsoever about C-Mac. Majority of the time, he's still who I'm taking at the 1.1. All right, I've never done this before. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 wide receivers in a row. Tyreek Hill, Waddle, Smith, Pickens, McLaurin, Hollywood, Watson. I want to see. This is a true zero RB team. And we're going to definitely try and get Tua. Probably going to take Tua at 119 unless quarterback's getting really steep and maybe we reach for him. With this team, it's probably worth it. But like, we can get 2 running backs with their next 2 picks, quarterback, maybe tight end at 122. 2 more running backs, and then we're just filling out running back, tight end, and a second quarterback for the rest of the draft. See what happens. This is going to be a true experiment here. Chris, do you think Kenneth Walker and Jalen Waddle for JT is good when you have Evans at flex? It depends on the rest of the team, Chris, for sure. I probably wouldn't do it. I'm pretty high on Waddle. He's like a borderline, like he's like a mid-round second value, arguably, for me. Believe it or not, he's an end of the second round value for me. Like, if you take him in the second round before Mike Evans, before Chris Olave, like, I don't think it's crazy. And Walker's going to be used a lot this year, like a lot. There's been nothing but high praise coming out of Seahawks camp for Kenneth Walker and the new offensive. Like, all they're talking about is using Walker this year. So I don't know if I do it, Chris. I don't quite think I would. I do like JT quite a bit, of course. All right, Chris, I think a different Chris. 10-man, Josh Allen, Brees, Bijan, Olave, Moore, Neighbors, and Njoku, and Monty. Certainly nothing bad here. I mean, in the 10-man, having a quarterback like Josh Allen is huge. Brees, Bijan is a filthy combination. Like, I think in a 10-man, like, if you're sacrificing maybe a little bit of upside at wide receiver, but you're coming out of your draft with Brees and Bijan, that amount of upside alone, especially with a quarterback like Josh Allen, is just insane. And I'm very high on Olave, very high on DJ Moore. So I quite like this team a lot. I think Neighbors fine in the flex for this type of team as long as it's full PPR, and Njoku's perfectly fine at tight end as well. And Monty's a nice piece to have, but, like, seriously, with Brees and Bijan, you're probably not going to worry about RB1, RB2 throughout the season. So that looks good to me. That's that kind of perceived upside that you really want to look for in, like, a 10-team format. Corbin, how do you think Tank Dell's going to do? Tank Dell's going to be fine. You know, there's going to be frustrating weeks whether you own Diggs, Dell, or Collins. I've kind of said all off season long that I think, Dell is the upside piece here. Sorry, let me make these draft picks. I'm going to avoid Jalen Warren because of the hamstring. I'm going to avoid Jonathan Brooks because we know he's going to miss time. And I need the closest thing to a workhorse running back that I can get. So we'll go Brian Robinson, then I'm going to go for Javonte Williams here. I was praying like Zamir White or Raheem Mostert might make it back there, but I had no faith that would actually happen. So, and of course I picked 2 running backs for the same bye week. I probably should have looked at that, but yeah, I think, and then I think Nico Collins for the Texans wide receivers he'll be the most, like, kind of consistent piece. So highest on Collins, next highest on Dell. I still think Diggs is going to be a huge part of this offense. I think for a lot of people, Diggs is the easiest to be the lowest on, but I still think Diggs is going to be very relevant here. Tank Dell is just one of those players, like, when I see him on the board, especially in best ball formats, but also like double flex formats, full PPR, it's really hard for me to pass on Tank Dell because, once again, a player who's going to end up where you're drafting him in the flex more than likely and just brings so much incredible upside to the table. All right, last one on TikTok, then I'll hop back over to YouTube. Kunji? I can't pronounce anything, so go ahead and roast me. Got first pick in a 14 team. Brees, Waddle, Cup, Chase. Oh, these are okay. Sorry. should I go Brees, Waddle, Cup, Chase, Pacheco, Cup, Chase, Pacheco, Waddle? For me, I'd go. That's really close. I think either of these are, any of these combinations are fine. I am really high on Isaiah Pacheco personally. I think Pacheco is top 5 running back upside going into the year. So like I'm very high on Isaiah Pacheco. So if you feel like getting Chase in the first round better overall for your team, then I think that's fine. Pacheco goes a little bit against ADP. Keep that in mind though. Like not really going in actual drafts where you see him in mock drafts. And right now, even in mock drafts, he's getting pretty aggressively selected. But Brees Hall, I think, is going to have such a good year. And I really like Waddle and Cup. So if you went like Brees, Waddle, Cup, no qualm whatsoever. These are all perfectly fine starts. I wouldn't, stress too much here, freak out here. I think no matter what, you start with a good combo. Tony, Herbert, Cousins, fantasy starters or backups. I think Cousins will be more of a starter than Herbert. I think Herbert will be okay. We got to kind of really see this offense come together. New system, a run-first system. So, you got Josh Palmer. You got Ladd McConkey. It's like I think I don't know. I think Herbert is a great quarterback. But what does this offense look like for fantasy? On the other hand, Kirk Cousins, that offense is coming directly from the offense we saw last year with the Rams. It's going to absolutely force feed a player like Drake London. And you got Kyle Pitts there. You got Bijan Robinson there. They're going to be in the red zone more. I feel far better about Kirk Cousins being a potential week-to-week starter. All right, thank God this guy didn't take Tua because we have to have Tua on this team. All right, hopping back over to YouTube. Ninos' little dolphin stack. Yeah, thank God I completed it there. Look at these wide receivers. Hill, Waddle, Smith, Pickens, McLaurin, Hollywood, Watson. Whoa. Whew. We got 3 running backs who should be the RB1s. B-Rob, Javonte, and Gus Bus. I kind of wanted to go Jerome Ford here, but it's like, no way we can't get Tua if we have Hill and Waddle. So this is probably a 6, if not 7 RB build. We're going to Frankenstein the tight end position. And we're going to have, I don't know if we're going to have a second stack at quarterback. The only thing I can think of with who's available is a Steeler stack, which like I'm not going to aggressively target a Steeler stack. Oz, good to see you, bro. Drafted your team yesterday, 14-man league. Let's go. Kyler, Burrow, Chase, Dell, Mooney, Shakir, Lockett, Etienne, Ramondre, Mostert, Andrews, Likely. For 14 teams, this is good. Great quarterback room. Chase, Dell, Mooney, Shakir, Lockett. A little bit light at wide receiver. Is it a single or double flex? Is it full PPR? Etienne, Ramondre, Mostert, I think is fine. Andrews, fine. Yeah, you'll be playing the waiver at wide receiver and probably for running back depth, but in a 14-man league, that's just how it is anyways. No matter what, I would just hold on to those 2 quarterbacks. Like, you spent the draft capital on them. Don't, get in a position where there's a quarterback-needy team where you trade one of them away. I'd hold on to that value. Gives you a slight advantage in a 14-man. 14 team, it looks fine. Cat says, Wild Kelsey goes 17 in your draft. I get him at 44 in mine. Just never know. You also got the Lions and Browns defense, and then Myles Garrett and Justin Tucker. I feel like Myles Garrett was probably you probably had to spend a pretty high draft pick on Myles Garrett. But yeah, team looks fine. Gonna be catch strong this year. Let's go. Let me get caught up here. Sorry, you had to withdraw the trade, Cinnabon. They're not the only person trying to come off after Lad and my DMs in that league. I guess it's kind of a buy low period for Lad McConkey. Like, he's not really a buzz name right now. Tommy, someone grabbed Dell in the 3rd in our draft, got him in the 4th. Beautiful. No better feeling. Tony on TikTok, Joe Mixon has a lot of wear and tear. Would you get him as your first running back? It depends. You know, where does he fall to, right? So I have a team where Mixon, like a real team that I drafted the other night, where Mixon fell to the end of the 4th, and I started with 3 wide receivers that I felt were like really, really strong, right? So, like that, for example, I'm okay with taking. Man, I kind of want to go Stafford here, but I feel like I have to take Chuba Hubbard. I kind of want to go Stafford, and then, but he's got the same bye week as Tua anyway, so it would have hurt the team. Yeah, but like I got Mixon at the end of the 4th, and see, let me pull up that team. I don't want to reach for Mixon, but he has been a top 15 back, 3 years in a row? So I don't want to be too down on Mixon either. So I started that draft with Hill, Drake London, and Brandon Ayuk. And, I mean, yeah, Mixon's kind of like a hero RB on that team. But he fell to the 4-11. I felt like he was a good value there. And I don't know how it's going to look on your guys' screen. Hold on. Okay, that's no help. Cropped it specifically to Underdog. But yeah, he fell to the 4-11. Then I got DeAndre Swift, Jonathan Brooks, Chuba Hubbard. And that was it. But my wide receivers are Hill, London, Ayuk, Rice, Deontay Johnson, Hollywood Brown, Purdy at QB, Hawkinson, and Schultz at tight end. So, I mean, if I don't want to reach for Mixon like middle of the 3rd, end of the 3rd, I still don't feel great about him. I prefer guys like Rashad White, James Cook, even Jacobs. Kamara, I feel like, has better PPR upside. But I do feel like at the end of the day, you're still getting a lot of, you're still getting a running back who's going to be on an offense that's going to score a lot of points this year. And like I said, I mean, while Mixon has a lot of wear and tear, it's not even, it's a top 10 back in PPR the last 3 years, a top 15 back every year since 2018, except when he was injured in 2020. And technically a top 13 back in all of those finishes. He was the RB6 last year. It doesn't feel that way, but he was the RB6 last year. So, yeah, wear and tear, I try not to worry too much about. Like, I'm super high on Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry's got a lot of wear and tear, but it's like, and that's not going to keep me from drafting Derrick Henry. You know what I mean? I don't know my second. I'm not going to worry about a second quarterback. We're just going to be contingent on Tua here. All right, let me make these 2 draft picks, and I'll get back in the live chat. Gosh, this is really ugly at running back, to say the least. Goes Leggett. I'll go Ben Sennett. I'm really not in a position where ADP matters. Like, I just need to pick the players that I think are going to best fill out this roster. We've got B-Rob. We've got McLaurin. So let's continue that Washington exposure. And, like, I don't really like this next pick at all. There's kind of two options here, and both are a slight reach. But let's just go Justin Fields because we have Pickens. That just is the grossest thing I think I've done in my life. Here's a 32-man. Geno, Jacobs, Dobbins, Wilson, McLaurin, Fant, Parkinson from J215. Is that your whole starting lineup? That's all you can start? I guess that makes sense for 32 teams. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't have any experience in a 32-team league. I've played in a 20-man league. It would be the closest thing. So I don't exactly know in a 32-team league, like, exactly what you should be looking for. I worry about Dobbins. I mean, I understand why he could be in your starting lineup. It's tight end premium as well. So you're starting Fant and Parkinson at the same time. That's fine. I feel like what a tough draft that must be. I mean, I don't even know how great I feel about Geno. It's so. I mean, it must be so hard to really decide like where you're gonna. I feel like you probably do have to spend the most value on wide receiver and running back still. So it just must be so interesting to play the waiver. I mean, how do the waivers even work in a 32 team? I mean, I've seen. Don't get me wrong. I've gotten questions before about 32 team leagues. Like I've seen it all on the channel over the years, but yeah. I mean, I think my biggest concern would be like what happens at quarterback if things go south. Are there any quarterbacks on the waiver at all? All right, let me hop back over to YouTube and I'll come back to TikTok. Cinnabon says, you wouldn't believe how difficult it is to sell Njoku in Dynasty and especially in our league for fair compensation. He's stuck on your roster, bro. Tight ends are notoriously hard to sell in the offseason because everyone thinks they're the guys, or they're fine with the guys they have, says Katz. Tommy, we'll come back to that. I see Chris was in here. It says his message was retracted. Where'd you go, Chris? Sam Darnold's gone off the board. Okay, I'm glad Dameon Pierce made it back. He helps this backfield. I might see. Gosh, it's disgusting. I mean, I drafted 8 wide receivers in a row. It's like kind of asked for this, but I think I'm going to take Bryce Young. The only other thing that's crossing my mind, someone to talk me out of it, is to. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to go Young, but I was thinking about going Daniel Jones and seeing if Darius Slayton falls out to 215. But I've seen Darius Slayton drafted in like the 16th round. Like, I'm not going to be stuck with Daniel Jones and no Giants wide receiver and just Daniel Jones on this team. Jalen Hyatt goes at 211. Darius Slayton goes at 212. Like, and there goes, yeah, Darius Slayton's been active in the preseason game, so I don't really need another wide receiver anyways. I probably need to go running back at pick 215. Just take a long shot. So, yeah, I mean, this is an interesting team, but I kind of love this team. Tua stacked with Hill and Waddle. Fields with Pickens. Bryce Young is here. Hello, Bryce. He's got Chuba. That doesn't really count for me. Running backs. We drafted 8 wide receivers in a row. Brian Robinson, Javonte, Gus, Chuba, Damian Pierce. I'm okay with this for this given strategy. Do need to try and finish out with a running back who has a chance to be playing in Week 14. I don't know how that's going to work. Hill, Waddle, Devonta, Pickens, McLaurin, Hollywood, Watson. Come on. Cole Kmet, Ben Sinnott. I got a lot contingent on Ben Sinnott here as a backup tight end. But like I said when I made that pick, we got McLaurin, we got B-Rob. I forgot to purposely draft some Browns players in here for the Week 17 matchup with the Dolphins, but things happen. Cole Kmet, Ben Sinnott. I like this entry. Dom, good to see you in the chat. Hello. Debo, Olave, or Nico? For me, it's Nico Collins. That's been my guy in that range all offseason long. But I like Olave a lot, and I like Debo a lot as well. That whole range of wide receivers is so close. I'd probably go Nico, Olave, Debo is, based on my drafts, is usually what I would say happens. I'm fine with an argument for any of them. Take Russell Wilson to get the Wilson to Fields' unique stack when Fields moves to wide receiver. I mean, that may have been smart, maybe to go running back or tight end at 194, and then I don't think anyone else is really going to target Russell Wilson in this draft because we have Pickens. Maybe the Freiermuth owner would go after him. That could be the only thing I think of. So that might have been smart. Chris still here, like the Fields pick. Let's go. Oz says my buddy has MH Jr. and A-Rich. I think he might offer a trade to me for the stack. Is it worth it this early? So you'd be trading just for Marvin Harrison Jr.? Because you have Kyler Murray? Gosh. I swear I draft Bryce Young every draft. I need to stop drafting Bryce Young. I'm going to go Deneric Prince because he's on the Chiefs. Like, literally, that's my only reasoning. All right, I will hop into another puppy draft at 12:22 a.m. Eastern Time. I took a power nap this evening. Awful decision. I'm going to be up like so late. Oz, I'd be trading Kyler for A-Rich. Oh, my bad. He has MH Jr. And wants the stack. Oh. Very close. Really determined by your personal conviction in either player. Really, really, really close. I feel, by the way, guys, I'm entering the lobby in 3, 2, 1. Puppy 3. 1 spot. Why can't it just be like 11 spots every time? I feel I like Anthony Richardson a lot. I feel a little bit safer with Kyler Murray, though. I don't know if you can really ask for anything more. I think A-Rich goes before Kyler. E-Money, what's going on, man? It's Rio Goated, my guy. What's up, dude? Good to see you. Chase, what's going on? Looks like we only need one more person in League 5. Yep, just one more spot. The final spot for any of the Catch Fam community drafts this season. $20 buy-in, full PPR, double flex. Gob says your quarterbacks are going to be sore throwing all those wide receivers. You know it. Cats, just stick around. Don't worry. I feel awake right now. Put it that way. Oz, I want to see Richardson actually play a full season, but I'm not out on him. Kyler has done it though. Yeah, I feel a little bit better with Kyler there. That's a tough choice. Tommy, unfortunately, I can't do best ball. What's your thoughts on stacking Fields? Sorry, let me make this big. Oh, no. Okay, it's Amon-Ra. We're good. We're good. Fields, Russ, or Cousins. MH Jr. in best ball? I think it would be a great late round RBQB approach. Wait, what's MPJ? Oh, Michael Penix? Oh, I don't want to draft 2 quarterbacks unless I feel like I absolutely have to. I don't know if outside of the Steelers there's a single team I'm going to go in on 2 quarterbacks right now with. And even with the Steelers, like that's only if I'm absolutely like that last draft. It was like I went so aggressive at wide receiver. We got Tua where we needed to get him, and then it's like I had work to do for the rest of that roster. So yeah, I don't see any reason if you're going to draft a Falcon stack, just draft Kirk Cousins. Cats, can't believe you missed it. I mean, I'm just in general, not your fault. I'm just like, dang. Rio Goated, are you still on Discord? If not, I can send the invite in the YouTube chat. The cash prize is what? I forget what it breaks down to. Over 100 for first place. How do I do this? So there's 12 of us. So I didn't supposed to pull. I can't. My brain is not functioning right now. Let's see. I drafted Waddle last draft, so let's go Olave this draft. First place is 110, second is 80, third is 30. Toilet Bowl winner receives $20. Gets their payback, paying back. I need to make my payments on all the leagues. You guys are probably looking at me like, why is John not paid? Rio Goated, there's the invite, though. Hopping back over to TikTok, Josh, keeper Amon-Ra for the second or Kyron in the 15th. Man, I'm Amon-Ra is my favorite wide receiver to draft in the first round. So I still think he's a good value in the second round for sure. But overall, I want to look at ADP, who's the best value versus the entire board. So I'll go Kyron in the 15th. You can literally enter your draft with a double hero running back approach at that point or a hero running back approach. Man, I kind of want to go DK Metcalf to switch up exposure here, but I'm personally higher on Devonta Smith and DJ Moore. But yeah, we're gonna switch up some of these drafts. I I go Kyron here because then you can also just go hero running back. Like, who your RB1 is. And you can just draft accordingly. Or you can go double hero running back, but you don't even have to pick a first run. It's just so Kyron in the 15th is just such a good value. That's what you want to look for in a keeper draft. Tony had asked, Jonathan Taylor's top running back 2021 hasn't done anything in the last 2 years. Would you get him with your first pick? No, I would say beginning of the second round is where I'm comfortable taking Jonathan Taylor. Keep in mind he's been hurt too, but he's fully healthy. He's still got top 5 RB upside this year. J215's first year doing it is 1 running back, 1 wide receiver, 1 tight end, 3 flex, and a super flex. That's just crazy. Okay, so you don't even have to start a quarterback. That helps. So 1 running back, 1 wide receiver, and a tight end. So that's your starting lineup, though. That's just tough, man. Cross your fingers. What's like the buy-in and payout and everything? Tony says, been playing fantasy since 2003. I almost never draft Jets, Browns, Commanders players. Well, it always depends on the situation. I mean, like, you look at Breece Hall last year. Probably felt good if you drafted Breece Hall. Garrett Wilson was still fine in full PPR. Njoku, obviously fine. Amari Cooper was a league winner last year. Commanders not as stout last year, but McLaurin is still wide receiver 2. And Brian Robinson Jr., before he kind of fell off. I mean, first half of the season, he was great. So, Eddie Timmon, Keeper League. Chase in round 6, either the 1-1 or go CMC, Hall, Lamb, or Hill. Oh, so you're keeping Chase in round 6. Jeez. I probably go running back. I probably go CMC or Hall, whoever you're most comfortable with at this point. I think both are fine. Yeah, I mean, the fact that you're wide receiver 1 in the 6th round, you just got to take advantage of that. If you want to go double wide receiver and get Hill or Lamb, that's okay too. But I think I go hero running back, and then you're getting a smash value in the 6th round at wide receiver. I'm going to draft Cooper because I usually go Flowers here. We're switching it up. Beyonce's in the chat. Let's go. Devontae or Marvin? I'd probably go Marvin by a hair. But I'm okay going Adams. I actually feel better about Adams now that we have clarity at quarterback than I did before. We didn't know if it was O'Connell or Minshew. And yeah, like, is Minshew going to light it up per se? No, and I mean, I'm a fan of Minshew Mania. It's a hard guy to not like. Michael Pittman was a wide receiver 1 last year, was the wide receiver 13 in full PPR. 156 targets, 109 receptions, just under 1,200 receiving yards, 4 tutties, 10.57 yards per catch, was fine. Gardner Minshew was the quarterback for the majority of the team last year for the Colts. So I think that this situation can work out fine for Devontae Adams. Now, do I still think his upside is capped? Yeah, but then, like, it's also tough because last year, those last couple weeks, so Aiden O'Connell started week 15, I believe. Yeah. Or was it more like week 12? I guess it was a little bit before that. I mean, regardless, Devontae Adams had
a single-digit performance once in that time span, week 12 to week 18. He had a bad game against Kansas City. What was that, Christmas Day or whatever? But 12.3, 12.3, 24.1. Bummer in week 16 when you probably needed him in the semi-championship. And then 37.6, coincidentally, against the Colts, the team we're looking at in comparison in the fantasy championship. 15.6 in week 18, which doesn't matter for fantasy, but we can still look at it. So it's like, it's kind of like JJ with Nick Mullins. Like, JJ was fine. Adams was a wide receiver 10 last year. I just still feel regression from that top 10 finish last year. So I feel like I'm drafting Marvin Harrison Jr. higher, but I'm starting to feel okay about Devontae Adams again. All right. I think I'm gonna go running back or tight end with this next pick. We're in a spot where we can try and draft Goff late as our QB1 and actually get, this is the advantage here, getting St. Brown, Olave, Metcalf, Cooper as our first 4 wide receivers. All their quarterbacks go late. So we take a little bit of a breather. Just hard when I see a name like Christian Watson, Hollywood Brown, JSN all on the board. It's like, man, I just want to go. Give me another wide receiver here. I don't have a ton of Mixon and best ball, so let's take Mixon. Let's continue to switch it up. Alfredo Rodriguez asking thoughts on DJ Moore. I think DJ Moore, fine. Yeah. I think DJ Moore is the guy in the Bears offense at the wide receiver position. I'm still really high on DJ Moore, one of my most drafted players last year. Yeah, I have no qualms, no issues whatsoever with DJ Moore this year. I know some people looking at like Rome Odunze there already has a good connection with Caleb Williams. Then, people also looking at the fact that obviously Keenan Allen is on this roster now. Then looking at the fact that Cole Kmet's still going to catch passes. DeAndre Swift's probably going to catch some passes. All that's fine, and I think that is actually going to help DJ Moore's performance on the field at the end of the day. Because his offense is going to be more open. It's going to be overall more effective. Caleb Williams has looked good in the offseason, and I think at the end of the day, number one guy here is going to be DJ Moore still. So I'm kind of always high on DJ Moore, feels like. And I don't really see myself coming off of that. This is a tough pick here. Evan Ingram's really tough for me to pass here. He's right at his ADP. His ADP is 77.8. This guy might take him. He's got beat Tom. Not surprised. But Hollywood's really hard for me to pass on here, but we're going to go Kamara. Get our RB2. Kind of matches that Olave. But, I mean, we have Worthy, too, so it's like, we got Mahomes. I mean, this guy's probably hoping Hollywood falls out right here. I don't have a problem taking Worthy and Hollywood. But. All right. Clint, fantasy. We got Williams, Jamar, Ayuk, Cup, Dell, Kyron, Etienne, McBride. That for a 10-man, that's a smash. Say no more, Clint. You're in a great spot, my guy. Gregory, 10-man as well. We got Kyler, Kamara, Zamir, White, my guy. Garrett Wilson, Cup, Kincaid, Debo. You're fine. You don't need to make any moves. This team is perfectly fine. I'm a Zamir White fan. Going to be a workhorse running back. Don't freak out about him as your RB2. Your team's fine. Both those teams in a row, there are 2 really good rosters for 10-man leagues. Gregory asking why Knox. Oh, because of Kincaid. I see. Like for me, I don't think you need to trade Kincaid at all. He's the number 1 receiving option for the Bills. Very, very high on Kincaid this year. Like he might hit either 1,000 receiving yards or 10 touchdowns. But yeah, Gregory, Clint, both your teams look very good. And then getting asked, what app is this draft on? This is Underdog Fantasy. So these are your most competitive drafts throughout the entire offseason. Best platform to draft on. I mean, for your redraft leagues, best platform is going to be Sleeper. But in terms of getting prepared for the upcoming season, I mean, we've been doing Underdog drafts since the spring. This is consistently the best reflection of overall ADP moving in the fantasy community. All right, so Jake the Snake does not come back here. I wonder if I can push Njoku to 101. All these teams in front of me have a tight end. So especially if Bowers doesn't go at 90 or 91, I'm going to see if I can get Njoku at 101. If I don't think it's the end of the world. And then I'm going to say either go Sutton or Mostert, Swift, Dobbs with this next pick. Kind of try and get a value pick here. I'm going to try and land Njoku since I got Cooper on this team. I don't mind Curtis Samuel here either. I started out with just 5 really solid wide receivers. I'm going to go Mostert. All right, hopping back over to the YouTube chat. Rio Goated, I did see that you were able to join the league. So League 5 is full. Let's go. And who better to join and finish out League 5 than Rio Goated? Let's go. Dom, Jacobs, Pacheco, or Henry. I probably put them in the order of Henry, Pacheco, Jacobs would be my order. Cats, give me your best truth serum take. Something you believe deep down but are afraid to admit. That's a tough question. Oh, DeAndre Swift might be bad this year. He just gets drafted. DeAndre Swift might actually be bad this year. You guys might be right on that. But I'm still going to stand by DeAndre Swift and continue to draft him. But I will not be surprised if DeAndre Swift is disappointing as part of many of my fantasy teams this year. He might be bad just because they might actually end up utilizing Khalil Herbert and or Roschon Johnson on a regular basis as well. And Demarcus Robinson is now facing a lot of steep competition, potentially, to that wide receiver 3 spot from Jordan Whittingham. And my very, very, very high shares of Demarcus Robinson, I still think are okay, but those are the 2 things right now that concern me the most in fantasy football. Dara, really stuck on the 5th pick. I doubt Jamar falls, but I really like Amon-Ra and Hall. But JJ seems like the best pick. I don't think any of those picks are bad, but I probably go Amon-Ra, Hall, then JJ. And I have no problem with Justin Jefferson there whatsoever. But yeah, I think Breece Hall can finish as the RB1. I think Amon-Ra can finish as the wide receiver 1. I don't have any real fear of Justin Jefferson, but I don't quite know that I think he can finish as a wide receiver 1. I think he can still finish as a top 5 wide receiver, but I think the perceived upside is a bit higher with Hall and Amon-Ra at their respective positions. Cats, the Demarcus Robinson one kills me too. I've been loading up on Whittingham. I have been drafting Whittingham at the end of drafts too. I mean, I got to even it out a little bit. Demarcus Robinson's still my most drafted player in Underdog. But I do think if you have, you're in a position where you need a stack to end your draft, you can still get Stafford so late, and then Demarcus Robinson or Whittingham are there. I think it's worth it. Kind of like you can always kind of go Adam Thielen and or Xavier Leggett and still get Bryce Young if you need a stack. All right, so I got to watch quarterbacks here. Let me see if the team in any teams in front of me take Jamison Williams. There goes T-Law. No, J-Mo went over here. Just 3 QBs on the board. I want to see if I can push Goff. His ADP is 124. Every team in front of me has a quarterback. One's going to be interested in Tua. One is going to be interested in Purdy potentially having Ayuk. There goes Purdy. It's really close here. I'm going to risk it and go Dontavion Wicks. Might be a mistake, but it's okay. Got to risk it for the biscuit. Team's looking pretty solid right now. Go for a value pick here. Yeah, Cats. I'm down to 46.9% DeMarcus Robinson. So it has come down a little bit. I'm really trying to get. So I'm in a massive amount of slow drafts right now. So until those finish, like my exposure won't change, you know. But I'm really going after, for the most part, still getting a good blend of both, but for the most part, drafting players that I have lower exposure to. Especially at like quarterback and tight end, but also at running back and wide receiver, and just overall changing up builds, changing up exposure and players I draft in those slow drafts, but still not like just drafting players just because, you know, still going after players that I like and players at certain ADP and all that stuff. So, but you know, like one thing I haven't really done throughout the offseason, I haven't drafted a lot of early round quarterbacks. Okay, we do get Goff here. That was a nice push. Let's go. So I'm drafting a lot of teams with like Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, or Josh Allen, for example. You know, stuff like that. Drafting a lot of like Trey McBride and Mark Andrews because I haven't drafted a lot of tight ends in that range. Getting more Kelsey, getting more Laporta. Doing more teams where I start like 3 running backs in a row. Then doing a team where I start 8 wide receivers in a row. Just doing a lot of different builds and exposures. Joe, this is Underdog Fantasy. If you guys are new to Underdog Fantasy and you do want to draft on Underdog, which at the moment, it's a really good time to hop into drafts for 2 reasons. Because, I mean, you still are going to have Best Ball Mania, which this is their flagship contest, their highest payout overall. You see some of those there. I mean, you're getting, you know, 6 figures up to the first 20 placements. You're getting up to 25,000 for the first 50 placements. Is a very large contest, though. Keep that in mind. And then still, the structure for the rest of the tournament is still very good. 1.5 million to number 1 overall, $25 entry. But outside of that, you've also got the Puppy 3, which is only at a fill rate of 57.4%. It's a $5 entry, and you still got a 6-figure payout to the first overall there. Puppy's always very popular this time of year, but yeah, just a $5 entry for that draft. And then right now, this is going to fill quickly, but you got the Flock Community Contest at a $10 entry at a fill rate of 51.2%. This will fill by tomorrow. These fill super quickly. There are 3 entry max, but and you do have other tournaments you can enter here as well. But those are the 3 at the moment I would recommend. And on top of that, with that promo code, the catch, which is linked to our YouTube as well. It's like a different link I have to use on TikTok, so I don't even have it active on there. But a first-time deposit offer will be valid with that promo code, the catch. It's a 50% first-time deposit match up to $1,000. So you can deposit up to $2,000 and get $1,000 in free money to use, plus a free mystery pick'em. So they just, sorry, I just like bumped my mic, increased that. It used to just be up to $250. Now it's up to $1,000, which is huge, especially for you guys who have not used Underdog before. So I'm just happy to see such a good value on that. All right, back on the clock here. We're looking pretty stout over here. You know, I don't know if he makes it back. I think he's the best player on the board. Give me Chuba Hubbard. Almost went Darnell Mooney there. I like Cole Kmet here. I might have to reach on Deshaun Watson, which I don't really want to do. Eddie, 10-man keeper league. Chase in round 6. I think we already hit this one, right? But I'll do it again. Yeah. You can either start your draft hero running back, which is probably what I would do, and just go CMC or Hall, whoever you're more comfortable with. If you want to start out aggressive at wide receiver and go Lamb or Hill and then have them with Chase and just have that kind of high upside, high value at wide receiver, no problem with that whatsoever. But for me personally, I'd probably go CMC or Hall. But yeah, I mean, like the firepower of Lamb or Hill with Chase all season long is tremendous. But all 4 players a good start for sure. All right, back on the board. Yeah, I mean, we're just doing it for the stack. Just give me Watson. We got Njoku. And we got Coop. This is a good team. Another good entry. Goff with Amon-Ra. Watson with Coop and Njoku. Mixon, Kamara, Mostert, Chuba. Amon-Ra, Lave, Metcalf, Cooper, Worthy, Dontavion Wicks. So still got, 5 more picks? We're in a pretty decent spot here. Dara, best quarterback to match with Daniels. Don't overthink it. You know, whoever's kind of there that you prefer. But Tua, Trevor Lawrence, I mean, really anyone in that kind of back end of the draft range is fine. I prefer Purdy, Tua, Goff. But Trevor Lawrence, Kirk Cousins, Matthew Stafford are all fine. You know, I will say, like, I've seen Jaden Daniels in redraft now go in 2 drafts in a row, and either in the 7th, I think the 7th. No, it wasn't that. Hold on, I'm going to check. I will check. So the 10th, I'm sorry, I'm way off. The 10th, then I drafted him in last night's draft. But I got him a little bit later. It was not the 7th, I'm sorry. So yeah, he went in the 10th in league number 3, then the 11th last night in league number 2 for the community. So in league number 2, I got Jaden Daniels, and then I got Tua in the 12th. So I did pair him with another quarterback. Catch is 46%. I thought I was crazy at 20. No, dude, I was like drafting him on a like every draft during the beginning of the offseason. But you have to remember, too, his ADP was like 179 at a point. Man, that feels like it was ages ago. Like when I was drafting all those teams with Rashee Rice and Hollywood Brown at picks like 78. I missed the beginning of the offseason. I feel like there's a big edge in Best Ball Mania to drafting these guys that haven't been drafted all summer long. Whittingham, Johnny Wilson. Yeah, I don't disagree. And they're definitely rising on a lot of draft boards out there. So, speaking of Demarcus Robinson, He's gone. All right, Thielen's a bit against ADP. It's not my favorite pick, but I'll take him. I do need to backload some running back depth, but it's like, we're taking shots at running back at this point anyways. I'm not going to like overpay here. So Bryce Young becomes an option for this team. Like usual. Drafting a lot of Ben Sennett lately. I feel like Team 3 is going to go for Cade Otton. He's got one tight end. He just drafted Baker. I feel like I haven't been drafting Baker as often lately. I mean, Baker was another guy beginning the offseason that I drafted at a kind of ridiculous pace. My exposure to Bryce Young is not good. He's just such an easy stack to end your draft with. He goes Braylon Allen. I'll go Otton if he's here. If not, maybe I'll go like Isaiah Likely, but Otton's here, so I'll go Otton. All right, so I got to end with some RBs. Maybe another tight end. You know what? For this draft, I might draft Jordan Whittingham in honor of Cats in this draft. But yeah, a nice little entry here. We got Goff, Watson. Goff stacked with Amon-Ra. Watson is stacked with Coop and Njoku. We got Mixon, Kamara, Mostert, Chuba. We're going to be light at running back. That's how we roll in a lot of these drafts. Amon-Ra, Lave, Metcalf, Cooper, Xavier Worthy, Dontavion Wicks, Adam Thielen, Njoku, and Sutton. So kind of want to take one more tight end. We'll see. Tommy, who would you rather flex, Kenneth Walker or Jaden Reed? Sorry. Jaden Weed. You know, what's incredible is that we already had to look at week 1. Sorry, getting asked on TikTok to scroll up. There's kind of a little bit of a look at everything here. If you guys hop over to the YouTube channel, we've done 2 real subscriber redraft leagues in the last 2 nights as well. Get you guys a really good look at, because this is a best ball format. This is a 3 wide receiver format that you're looking at on the screen here. It's still a very good idea. But if you guys want to see like some real redraft leagues, hop over to the YouTube channel and, of course, subscribe while you're over there. But also you can take a look there and get a good idea of what, you know, redraft format might look like for you guys this year. Our formats are full PPR, double flex, but even if you play in a single flex, you're still basically looking at a good idea. Man, I was really hoping Ben Sennett was going to fall there. All right, just give me Dameon Pierce. Dameon Pierce, I need to switch up my end of the draft exposure. I get really stuck with the same guys at the end of the draft. I'm just a sucker for the guys I like in the late rounds. For anyone watching on TikTok, there's the YouTube link as well. So, yeah, I guess I'm going Bryce Young with this pick. If he's there. Wow, 4 quarterbacks gone in a row. Young's now the top QB, but I don't. Where's Deontay? I mean, the team that has Deontay is Mahomes and T-Law. I mean, he also stole Jordan Whittingham from us. So. Oh, sorry, Tommy. I'm coming back to your question in just a second. My bad. Wow. Taysom Hill's gone. What is happening? All right, so I'm going to end this draft with one running back, and we should be good. So week 1, you got the Packers at the Eagles. I do like Jaden Reed in that matchup, although I do expect the Eagles secondary to be better than it was last year. Has to be somewhat better. They were back and forth with the Commanders like all year long. At a point with the Vikings as well, but the Vikings improved. But the Commanders and Eagles finished as the 2 worst secondaries in the league last year. Packers are on the road. It's going to be a game with points. So I do like Reed. And then the Hawks, on the other hand, are at home against the Broncos. I do like Kenneth Walker in that matchup. But in full PPR, I'm probably going to flex Jaden Reed. Green Bean, what's going on, man? Freaking really? What? Cats, Casey Washington, Cordell Patterson, Parker Washington, and scroll the F down picks if you're looking, I know. Or some scroll the F down picks if you're looking, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that's so important to take some names at the end of the draft and underdog drafts that you're just not accustomed to taking. I liked Monty Brown on Washington. I think Tim Patrick's kind of interesting. We haven't seen anything out of Josh Reynolds. Still think Donta Foreman's okay late. He kind of dropped back in ADP because of the neck injury, but then we saw him get touches in preseason and involved in the passing game. I'm going to draft him in this draft instead of Will Shipley, but I do like Will Shipley here too. Some people like Cedric Wilson this late. I think Noah Brown is kind of interesting. There goes Tim Patrick. Yeah. I'll go Foreman. He got a lot of touches in that last preseason game. Although they might be seeing, like, are we going to cut him or not? I don't know. But I think Jerome Ford, Donta Foreman start out that season as RB1, RB2, and I don't really know when Chubb's even going to play. Boston Scott's on the Rams. Boston Scott had 86 rushing yards last year. That's it. Sky Moore's ADP is 216. All right, I'm going to enter one more draft for the night, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, is Dylan Jaffe 12 one of you guys? I've drafted with this guy a lot. Is that one of you guys? All right, I'm going to enter the... We'll just do another puppy at 1:02 a.m. Eastern time. It's 1 in the morning. It's because I took a nap. Does not feel like that. So I will count down 3, 2, 1, and then I will enter the lobby. Get in the dang draft with me, guys. So far, I haven't drafted with anyone tonight. Everyone keeps missing it. But I'm just going to sit here and stare. Yeah, I do think Tim Patrick's a good scroll down for sure, cats. All right, 3, 2, 1. I'm in the lobby. Oh my gosh, it's like already full again. These just are filling so quickly. One spot, someone come get it. $5 entry. Tommy, my bad. I meant, who would you rather have on your team as a flex? Can only pick one. Oh, good. Cats. We're in it, brother, man. Let's go. I think I will go Jaden Reed as long as it's full PPR. But I think Kenneth Walker is in a good spot there week 1. For sure. Week 1 is a really weird week. There's nothing like in terms of matchups that absolutely stands out to me. I mean, I think all the matchups are good. Rams Lions first Sunday night game of the year. Jets Niners first Monday night game. That Ravens Chiefs game to kick things off is going to be wild. Wait, what night is the Eagles Packers game on? Also, why is this draft? Oh, here we go. Let's go Hill. Green Bean, I just saw your message. Let's do Best Ball Mania. You know, originally when I got on tonight, I thought I'd just be doing Best Ball Mania. Let me look at the calendar. Tomorrow we have a real draft. But Wednesday night I'll be on to do Best Ball Mania if anyone wants to hop into any. Let me know. My calendar's just... I have a draft 25th, 26th, 2 on the 27th, 30th, 31st, the 1st, nothing on the 2nd, and my last draft of the year is on the 3rd. Kickoff's on the 5th. Let's go. All right, third draft of the night. Let's get it, guys. Cats goes Garrett Wilson at the 1-6. Chase is at the 1-7. Hitting that exposure, I see, Cats. I like it. Green Bean, if you want to enter Best Ball Mania, let me know. I'll enter one as well. Screw it. I'll do 2 drafts at once. Yeah, week 1, in terms of potential matchups that I think will have the highest fantasy impact. Oh, so, yeah, we get a Friday game week 1. Isn't that like a... Where is that game? It's somewhere that's not in the U.S., right? That's going to be kind of weird. How does that impact? It's like an away game for both teams week 1. I think the over on that game's like 48.5 right now. I think it's like 49.5 maybe. Sometimes with like those away game situations, you know, like London games, like you don't really, the offenses don't always show up. The Panthers Saints, I don't see a lot of fantasy impact there. Vikings Giants, not a lot of impact there, other than maybe JJ going against the Giants secondary. Patriots Bengals, like I think the Bengals probably only need to do so much in that game. Steelers Falcons, I think, you know, maybe the Steelers surprise a bit here. I think the Falcons will hold it at home. Texans are at the Colts. That's a game where I do see some high fantasy impact, obviously. Cardinals Bills. Another one. Let's just go with 2 Dolphins. Where did Waddle? Waddle went at the 2-9. Titans Bears. That one's kind of interesting, actually, I think. Jags Dolphins, you're going to get high fantasy impact there. Broncos Hawks, are we Bo Leavers or not? Raiders Chargers, Cowboys Browns. The Browns are now the favorite to win that game. Cowboys have dropped back, and they're on the road too. That's an interesting game. I do think there's fantasy impact here as well. Commanders Bucks, I think, is actually kind of a fun game. Rams Lions, got to be the best game of week 1. Jets Niners going to be really interesting. Tough first matchup for a presumably fully healthy Aaron Rodgers. I feel like I haven't drafted Mike Evans in a while. But I'm going to go Devonta Smith. Cats, I guess I'll have a better, more unique third rounder to pair with them. Funny thing is I have a ton of Garrett Wilson and London starts. I do too. London fell back a bit. Who's the third rounder? Let's see. Henry, I like it. Greenbean says you're good. I'll try to catch draft you sometime. Just got on here late tonight. No worries, broski. Yeah, I'll probably be on Wednesday night to do Best Ball Mania. I feel like the 20-second clock was where it was at tonight. I mean, this got his 3 drafts in. But we'll see. I do need to get some Best Ball Manias in. So that was actually my original plan when I got on tonight. But here we are. Cat says Devonta or DK would have been nice. Sorry, bro. Not getting no Devonta from me. But yeah, all are good picks there. All right, so I'm going to pull up some of the pick'em lines from week 1 as well. See, because they're probably going to have more players added potentially at this point. Maybe not. Yeah, maybe not really. So hard to set these lines so early. Kind of like A.J. Brown over 79.5 receiving. But I guess, Jair Alexander will be on him. He went over, essentially, we got to look at 80 yards, so he did that. First 9 games, didn't do it 3 times, so that's 6 games he did it. Let's count how many times he didn't do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on the whole season. Yeah, it's over half, but week 1 and 2, he didn't hit it. Remember, he kind of came out not as hot, so I don't know if I like that one. I feel like Tyreek Hill at 97.5 receiving yards is like the best week 1 pick 'em. He did not hit that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. The last 3 games, he was a little bit down. Take away the last 3 games, that's 4 times. Tough. Who are we going to take? Give me the GOAT. Give me Mahomes. No, Mahomes is not the GOAT. Brady is. And then Manning, then Montana, then probably Mahomes. All right, so let's see if I land Xavier Worthy. And then if Hollywood comes back to me. Rashid Rice goes at pick 37. guy's probably going to go. Well, Flowers is gone. He's probably going to go Andrews. Maybe just goes wide receiver. Go Scary Terry. That works. Kind of scared of this team. Looks like he likes aggressive wide receiver starts, and Worthy's on the board. Who's it going to be? Josh Jacobs. All right, so we get Worthy. Puts us at Mahomes, A-Chain, Hill, Smith, Worthy. I like that start a lot. Green Bean, I'm in a slow weekly winners at the moment. Man, I should have locked in like a ton of slow weekly winners because I did not get in enough weekly winners at all this year. Need a running back looking at Spears and Gus in the 10th. Who you taking? For weekly winners, I mean, I think both are perfectly fine. But I feel like if you need a more consistent potential piece, go Gus. If you want more upside, go Spears. But I like both those guys a lot right there. Cat says Ridley over 56.5 receiving yards with no D-Hop week 1. That is a good line. Jack's secondary wasn't great last year, so I still kind of like. I don't really go for high lines, but I kind of like that Tyreek Hill line. Cardinals, Bills. I think I like Kincaid over 53.5, but I think the Cardinals were actually really good against tight ends last year. Colts, Texans. I don't like any of these lines. One of these Texans wide receivers will hit. You got Nico at 67.5, Diggs at 63.5, Dell at 59.5. One of them will do it, but tough to say who. You got the Bengals and Patriots. You only have one Patriots player down right now. That's Ramondre at 56.5 rushing yards. Kind of like Higgins at 54.5 receiving. Pittsburgh at Atlanta. I kind of like the under on Russell Wilson passing yards, but he's only at 211.5. It's still risky. I don't really like any of the lines there. See, I'll like more of the lines once we get closer to week 1, and they have kind of lesser players, so to speak, out. Minnesota at the Giants. All you got is Daniel Jones, Neighbors, and Singletary down. I'd maybe consider Neighbors at 54.5. Cats likes the under on Diggs. I mean, that's fair. Tennessee at Chicago. I kind of like Caleb over 215.5. Oh, that's a... Can only take the higher on that. Do I go Hollywood here and get the double stack? I feel like I have to. Hollywood Brown forever. DJ Moore at 42.5. I like. And then, yeah, Ridley's at... Oh, so I have certain boosted picks, and one of them's DJ Moore at 42.5. But, yeah, I do like Ridley. But that Chicago secondary is not really anything to sneeze at. There goes Deontay and Watson. I wonder if I should have gone Deontay or Watson at 70 if maybe Hollywood makes it back to 75. But I don't know for sure. Tommy, have a good night, my guy. I think I'm going to kind of reach for Jamison Williams here. But I also like Ferguson. But I feel like right now, wide receiver, continuing to build it is most important. So we got a lot of upside. Hill, Devonta Smith, Worthy, Hollywood, J-Mo, A-Chain, Mahomes. It's a nice start. I think it's too late now, Green Bean, as I'm almost halfway through this draft. It's getting late where I am. But Wednesday night, I mean, just keep posted. I want to do some Best Ball Mania exposure on Wednesday for sure. All right, Carolina at the Saints. I might take the higher on Bryce Young at 199.5. Deontay's at 53.5. I like that line. I like the higher on Zamir White rushing yards. He's at 62.5. They're on the road. I'd like it a lot more if not, but I think it's decent. I like the higher on Javonte Williams at 48.5 rushing yards. Mike Evans is only at 65.5 receiving yards. And I like that too. I feel like for that matchup, that's not bad at all. All right. Hold on. I'm going to come back to that. I'm trying to figure out. Like, I'm looking at my slip, and it says I have 6 on my active slip. But I only chose 4 players. Hold on. Where's NFL? It's saying I have like 2 NFL season picks on this slip too, and I don't. And why can I never find the NFL season thing on the app? So weird. If I close everyone out here, it still says I have 2 picks active, and I don't. All right. That's so weird. I wonder if I go on the app if it looks different. Green bean for me. Usually I'm on. So like Wednesday, I'll usually be on around like 10 p.m. Eastern time, 10:30. Every now and then, not on till like 11 p.m. Eastern time though. Tonight is a little bit of a later stream though. All right, I'm gonna try and enter this on my phone instead and see what happens. It's acting all weird on my desktop. Oh, and they have different lines on. Did Derrick Henry to score a touchdown is like that shouldn't even be allowed. I'll probably put that on a pick 'em slip every week. All right, let me make these 2 draft picks first. Nice. I'm happy with Zamir White on this team for sure. No question about it. Originally, I was going to go in this draft trying to get Tua, but I don't know. Spending that early draft capital on Mahomes. If Tua's there at 123, maybe. This team that's got Waddle's got no quarterback, so he might take him at like 117. I might go Jonathan Brooks with this next pick. But then I know Chuba's going to be there later. Maybe go Goddard because we got Devonta Smith. Maybe just go another wide receiver. Let's get a little Josh Palmer action on this team. But actually, running back isn't a bad choice here either. Yeah, let's get a little Tony Pollard action. Why not? Switch it up a little bit. Although I guess Palmer would have been switching it up too. All right, yeah. So okay, Henry to score a touchdown. Okay, so they got way more lines when I'm on. Sounds good, Green Bean. Looking forward to it, bro. They got way more lines when I'm on my phone. Okay, that's just for the Chiefs and Ravens, which is the first game of the week. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. I wonder if my boosted picks are still. Okay, they are. Yeah, I like DJ Moore over 42.5. What do you guys like more? DJ Moore over 42.5 or Ridley over 38.5? Sorry. Jeez, excuse me. I'll repeat that. DJ Moore 42.5 or Ridley 38.5. I like Javonte over 48.5. Evans 65.5. He gets Washington at home. But yeah, I only get one or the other cats. I like Amon-Ra over 84.5. I feel like he's going to be very necessary. The Rams' secondary is not good last year. But it's still a high line for sure. Yeah, it's super tough between those two cats. I still like Deontay Johnson over 53.5. I can also go Will Levis over 199.5 or Caleb over 215.5. Those are my boosted selections. Those are my boosted selections. All right, back on the clock. Don't get Tua. Let's go Tavion Wicks here. What is Frankenstein tight end? I kind of miss. I like the champions format on Underdog, but it kind of confuses me. I kind of miss the traditional pick'ems. But I'm gonna enter this anyways, just because I'm gonna show you guys my favorite lines for week 1 at the moment. Dang, can't believe we got sniped on Tua like that. And it was the Waddle team. I mean, I called it earlier, so it happens. All right, give me Jerome Ford. We're sitting okay here, though. Mahomes with Hollywood and Worthy. Tua would have been nice on this team with A-Chain and Hill, though, but it's okay. A-Chain, White, Pollard, Ford at running back, Hill, Smith, Worthy, Hollywood, J-Mo, Tavion Wicks at wide receiver. Not bad. Not bad. Also kind of like Pittman, 65.5 receiving yards. Man, Bijan's up 70 rushing yards. I also like Kenneth Walker over 61.5. All right, so I do have like I said, a flex on here. Do unders get voided if the player doesn't play? Yes, I believe so. I think either over or under would get voided if they don't play at all. If they get hurt during the game, then no. All right, so I got Henry for a touchdown. Kincaid over 53.5. Zamir White over 62.5. Javonte at 48.5. Amon-Ra at 84.5. Godwin, at 56.5. DJ Moore at 42.5. Deontay at 53.5. Then here's one I kind of like put these in as bookmarks sometimes, but yeah, a lot of these haven't changed. Zamir White, Henry, Kincaid, Amon-Ra, Evans, Rashad White over 64.5. C-Mac at 84.5. I put that in. Usually it has a date, but a couple weeks ago. We'll keep an eye. Keep posted. All right, I think I'm going to go back-to-back tight end with these two picks. I don't know what my plan at quarterback behind Mahomes is going to be, but I don't know if I'm too worried about it. Dang, I wanted Hawk.
I'm going to go try and go Schultz and Hawkinson. Oh, well. Oh, well. Been drafting a lot of Cole Kmet lately. Maybe I just go Chuba Hubbard with this last pick. I also like Kmet here, though. Then that just finishes tight end for the team. Oh, Chuba Hubbard's gone. Uh-oh. Let's just get tight end out of the way. All right, so I mean, here's all the. Look at more of these. I still like Pacheco to score a touchdown. I feel like week 1, I'm okay with that. I feel like there's something I like in this Green Bay Philly game, but I just don't know what. Jacksonville's at Miami. Like, I know there's something good here. I just don't know where I stand. Kyler over 36.5. How many times did Kyler do that last year? Rushing. He did it 1, 2 times. That's pretty steep. Pretty steep for me. Kind of like Connor at 57.5. I like Pittman here. Okay, see, I'm on desktop again. I'm just going to leave it and then enter it on my phone. But it's saying I have 4 picks and when I just have 2. I don't know why it's doing that on my desktop. Don't know what I'm doing wrong here. You guys can barely see on the screen. I'm sorry. I kind of like the chance on Higgins at 54.5. Kind of like the chance on London at 64.5. Kamara at 59.5 is interesting. But I'm always afraid of Kamara. Trevor over 248.5 is for ball knowers only. Proceed as you wish, says Katz. This is fair. Yeah, I do like Kenneth Walker here too. I kind of like all the Bucks lines right now. Something good in this Lions-Rams game. I think I like me Cup at 70.5. I'm a little worried about this Jets-Niners game for some reason. I feel like it could be a little bit lower scoring. We'll find out. See, as much as I like having Devonta Smith on this team, I kind of regret not going Evans because now Baker is going to be available. He's such an easy QB2 behind Mahomes to take. All right, I'm going to try and enter this on my phone. Oh, I should probably draft here. I mean, frankly, I'll still just take Baker. Probably just. Well, this team's got Evans. Maybe I sniped him. Maybe he thought Baker'd be there at 172. I don't know. Like at this point in the draft, I'm not going crazy at. I'm not reaching for any of these running backs. Got to take McMillan. I mean, that's a fair point. We'll go McMillan. If he's here. Time will tell. Yeah, he's here. We'll go McMillan. Fair. All right, so let's see what we got here. We got Pacheco, Score, Tutty. We got Pittman. We got Higgins. London. Kenneth. Cup. Cats, I'm not going to lie. I totally forgot you were in this draft, bro. I totally forgot you were drafting with me, homie. Look at the late round quarterbacks over here. I think I like Waddle at 66.5. Definitely a brutal snipe on Conklin, though. You will remember I was drafted with you, and this team takes home 100K. That's right, bro. All right, 3 rounds left. Let's see how we wrap up the stream tonight. What do I want to do? I want another quarterback on this team, but I don't really want Bryce Young. Still have just 4 running backs, but like I'm not super. There's just I think just taking one more running back somewhere at the end here is fine. Got 2 on the same bye week, but oh well. Will A-Chain and Pollard be alive week 10? I mean, I don't know, but we'll find out. Man, Tim Patrick climbing up the draft boards. I feel like Tim Patrick, like just a player that a lot of fantasy players really like. Like in general. Like I'm not saying in fantasy, like just in general, and now that he's back and healthy, people are like back in on the Tim Patrick hype, which I'm okay with. Danny Dimes has officially joined this team, so watch out, cats. Okay. I'm going to see if I can grab
Darius Slayton with this next pick. I'm not believing the 2 interception propaganda. You know, I guess my league changed scoring this year for quarterbacks. I don't even know. It's 1 point for every 10 passing yards. Should I trade Lamar? No. Don't worry about little things like that. No. Keep Lamar. Still threw for 36, nearly 3,700 passing yards last year, and still has tons of rushing upside. Still the QB4. Don't let a little change like that do anything. You're fine. The stack is complete. Can't stop me. I got an unstacked Baker Mayfield, a stacked Patrick Mahomes, a stacked Daniel Jones. Let's go. See, I just wish I went Mike Evans over Devonta Smith, because then we'd have one more stack and still a very good draft. But it's fine. Terry, I got offered Flowers, Najee Rice, and Amon-Ra for JT and Coleman? No, and Aaron Jones. I'm sorry, I read that wrong. I was like, what? Current team is Murray, Brown, Evans, JT, A-Chain, Ferg, Nico, Connor, Gus, Pickens, J-Mo, Keon, Ridley, Warren. Half PPR. So you are essentially leaving JT. A-Chain's your RB1, then your RB2 becomes Najee, Aaron Jones, Connor, or Gus Bus. You give up Keon Coleman, you get Flowers and Rice. That makes it a fair trade. You know, I'm not like completely out on Keon Coleman, but I'd much rather have the combination of Rice and Flowers. So the most valuable player here, though, is easily going to be JT. So, I mean, if it kind of downgrades your running back situation, although you do have A-Chain still. But right now you got a lot of upside with A-Chain and JT. But at the same time, when you have a good team, Kyler, AJ, Evans, JT, A-Chain, Fergie, Nico, it's still a good bench. I might just hold as you are, Terry, unless you really feel like that wide receiver value. But really, I think the combination of JT and A-Chain and half PPR, I'd probably leave it as is. It is close. You do get some nice running back depth. But then it's like, if you do the trade, you got to drop 2 players, right? Like, who are you going to drop? Warren because he's hurt? Then Ridley because you don't really need him at this point? Or do you believe in J-Mo less? It's just one of those trades. I'm like, I just don't really know if it's necessary. Cats, you didn't draft Jordan Winningham. Dude, I was hoping Dameon Pierce is going to fall there. Will Shipley's gone. I'm just going to go. I'm back on my Donta Foreman selection. Just give me the Browns backfield here. Good entry. We got Mahomes stacked with Worthy and Hollywood. We got an unstacked Baker. We got the stack of the year, Daniel Jones and Darius Slayton. A-Chain White, Pollard, Ford, Foreman. It'll work, I think. Hill, Smith, Worthy, Hollywood, Jambo, Tavion Wicks, McMillan. So Baker and McMillan. I forgot we did that. But I do wish I went Evans over Devonta Smith. But I still love me some Devonta Smith. Schultz and Komet at tight end. It'll work. It'll do. It's fine. Cats, you got Cousins, Watson, Rogers. Cousins is stacked with London. Rogers is stacked with Wilson. Watson stacked with Coop and Judy. Okay. Good stacking some pancakes. Henry White, Connor Mostert, Vidal, nice. Take that RB room all day long. Palmer, A.D. Mitchell, Judy, Tolbert, Casey Washington behind. Those 3 wide receivers we already talked about. Andrews and Parkinson, not bad. Not bad at all. Yeah, definitely a good entry here. 3 stacks. I like the first 4 wide receivers. Second 4, fine. Andrews, Parkinson, fine. Great running back room. Good team. It'll do. Easy 3. Rate my Dynasty 12-man. Jaden Daniels, Kyron, B-Rob, as in Brian Robinson, Marvin Harrison, Neighbors, Ferg, Smitty, A.D. Mitchell, Aaron Jones, and Corley. I mean, this team's fine. Was this a startup draft? It's fine. Or is this just your team in general? I mean, M.H. Jr. Neighbors, like, very good long term. Short term is still okay. Fergie Smith, A.D. Mitchell, Jones, Corley. I mean, you're kind of in a, like, it's not like you're necessarily win now or it's just kind of an interesting situation for your overall team there. Nothing wrong with it, though. I just don't know if you're really in like a win now spot or not. Yeah, I mean, you can definitely build off this team for sure. All right, guys. Good stream tonight. A little bit longer. We're over 2 hours, so hit the like. Links are down below. If you guys joined on TikTok, thank you. And thank you guys, of course, on YouTube and TikTok for all the fantasy questions and hanging out tonight, all that good stuff. So I'll be back tomorrow. We have a real draft for the community tomorrow, redraft, format, full PPR, all that good stuff. So hop back on tomorrow. Let me know if you guys need anything on Discord, all that good stuff. And we'll talk soon. With that, I will say, thank you guys so much for watching and or listening. And remember, you saw it here.